Are you tired of trying to find the perfect solvent that can dissolve those pesky household solutes? Ordinary solvents can be just plain messy, but worry no more.
Hi, Billy Mays here for the Universal Solvent. It will dissolve and resolve all your problems just like that. The Universal Solvent is made of 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen. With the Universal Solvent, you'll never have to worry about dissolving those ionic salts or polar compounds again. Have you ever wanted to dissolve an ionic salt? Well, now you can. The Universal Solvent is the perfect thing for the job. You won't have to deal with frustrating failures with regular solvents ever again. First of all, we're going to prove just how effective the Universal Solvent is. Our boys from the lab have given us some sodium chloride to experiment with. It has the power to dissolve this sodium chloride readily.
Wow, but how does it work?
Well, what just happened here can be explained in 5 easy steps.
First off, we begin with the ion-dipole interactions, using our patented hydration technology. Secondly, the positive ends of the hydrogen atoms in the universal solvent, called dipoles, attract to the negative chlorine ions. Next, the negative oxygen dipoles in the universal solvent attract to the positive sodium ions. As a result, the universal solvent surrounds the water, and intermolecular forces separate the intramolecular forces between the ions, dispersing it through the water as it dissolves.
Wow, Universal Solvent changed my life.
But wait, there's more. The Universal Solvent is also the greatest solvent for dissolving polar compounds. For this demonstration, we're going to be using ethanol. Wow!
But how does it work, Billy?
Well, I'll tell you.
Ethanol is very soluble in the universal solvent. When in the universal solvent, there are London dispersion forces that exist, but are not strong enough to dissolve ethanol. This is where our hydrogen bond technology comes into play. Since ethanol is a polar covalent compound because of its oxygen-hydrogen group, the negative oxygen dipoles in a universal solvent attract to form hydrogen bonds with the positive hydrogen dipoles of ethanol. Next, the positive hydrogen dipoles in the universal solvent form more hydrogen bonds with the negative oxygen dipoles from ethanol. Finally, these intermolecular forces separate ethanol molecules from other ethanol molecules and disperse it throughout the universal solvent.
That's amazing. How much does Universal Solvent cost?
And the amazing part is, you can get your 750 milliliter bottle of Universal Solvent for 4 easy payments of $45.99. But wait, there's more! Call within the next 5 minutes and you'll receive a special edition copy of Steven Spielberg's blockbuster film, Gremlins, for free with your purchase. But wait, there's even more! Call within the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a coonskin cap with your purchase, as well as the Gremlins DVD and your Universal Solvent.
Call 1-800-818-MAZE to order Universal Solvent to receive the triple offer. That's 750 milliliters of Universal Solvent, Steven Spielberg's Gremlins, and a coonskin hat for 4 easy payments of $45.99. Call 1-800-818-MAZE now. That's 1-800-818-MAZE.
Warning: Universal solvent cannot dissolve nonpolar covalent compounds. Since the general rule is like dissolves like, polar covalent compounds such as the universal solvent will not dissolve nonpolar covalent compounds. For example, propane is nonpolar and consists of only carbon and hydrogen atoms. Between carbon and hydrogen atoms, there is no significant electronegativity, which means there are no dipoles. This means that only weak dispersion forces exist as a result of temporary electron displacements, which is why at room temperature propane is a gas. Therefore, the intermolecular forces are not strong enough to separate the propane molecule, leaving the universal solvent hydrogen bonded to itself. We are not responsible for any failures at dissolving nonpolar compounds. In order to dissolve a nonpolar covalent compound, another nonpolar covalent compound is needed because like dissolves like. For example, carbon dioxide and oxygen are soluble in each other. These compounds do not have dipoles or electrostatic forces, and only dispersion forces are present, but are too weak. They are not attracted nor repelled. They just disperse or mix together.
The universal solvent is also friendly for the environment. It's so clean, you can drink it.